Today is September 5th. We'll be chatting with Boone about the recent sweep of the Astros and also discussing the new analytics coming soon. Maybe, hopefully. Interesting. Let's talk Yanks.
Talking Yanks with old John Boy. John Boy and Jake. Recaps galore, weekly awards, stat lines, theme, and hot takes. Get your Yankees news from these two fine dudes. It's time for Talking Yanks. Talking Yanks with old John Boy. John Boy and Jake. Talking Yanks with old John Boy. John Boy and Jake.
Hello and welcome to Talkin' Yanks, episode 957, brought to you by SeatGeek. My name is Jimmy. His name is Jake. BBD in the corner. Jake and I are wearing the same shirt. I have a hoodie on, so I didn't want to make BBD feel left out that he's not wearing the Watermelon Frog John Boy Media shirt, which is a popular one right now.
Instant classic.
You look good in it, Jake.
Just verbally leave them out. BBD, Jim, what's going on, everyone? Analytics, our specialty. So
Yes.
We'll be diving into that a little bit.
Very
and
exciting news.
probably our most fun Boone app in a while because things are kind of exciting. The Yankees are entertaining.
Yes, if you have accepted the loss of this season,
Everyone
embraced
should have.
fall training, some people still, it's bad.
You got people still pushing playoffs?
No, pushing upset about the season, not being able to get excited about the future of these young guys and still just upset, like, hold them to the fire longer. This was a disgrace. I was like, well, they're kind of accepted it.
We done
Yeah.
this.
This is like the couple parts that is one. The vibe has fully changed too.
Yeah.
When we review the season and look forward to next season, the season failed. Yes.
Bad. 0.03 playoff chances, I believe they have.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, they win out. Maybe.
I think it's just 0.3, bro.
Well, wouldn't that be? I guess if it was decimal.
0.3%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not bad.
So 3% chance. Okay.
Yeah. 0.3.
0.3% chance.
A little under a third of a
A
percent.
third of 1%.
How about it? That's math. Hal wants to take a look at the math. That's our first topic. We don't have a Sharp stats because Katie Sharp is on vacation, a well-deserved vacation.
Or is she?
Maybe she's.
I'm on vacation.
Yeah. Yes, Hal. I would
I'm
love
on
to do
I'm on
analytics
this
for you.
yacht.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, Hal, cluster outs have been a big problem with the way we've built the lineup. Cluster outs? Hal's so weird. The way when he talks like that.
You might be able to get yourself a yacht if you go to DraftKings, pick a couple winners. 7 months without an NFL game. And that ends this week. And here at DraftKings, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, they're giving you a can't-miss Week 1 offer. New customers can get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5 on an NFL game. DraftKings is hooking everyone up. They got their two new offers every day. I know yesterday they threw out just like a flash Mahomes thing. It's like if he throws for 275, bing bong. So keep an eye on those. That's kind of that's the nice, easy route to get there. Download now and use code YANKS to sign up. New customers can take home $200 in bonus bets instantly just for betting $5. That's code YANKS only on DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. The crown is yours.
The crown is yours. These were, we tickled this conversation on last step about Hal and his press conference, and definitely last step we talked about how it was his decision to not trade away these kids. He kind of said, Cash, your trades have stunk lately. We're freezing that. And we're going to call these kids up, see what we got. And he's like proud to take credit for that. Now, the second part of him addressing the media in Tampa was even more of a win, I think, for the Yankees. He said, and I quote, I'll read the quote verbatim for you guys. We're going to take a very deep dive into everything we're doing. We're looking to bring in possibly an outside company to really take a look at the analytics side of what we do. baseball operations in general. We're going to have some very frank conversations with each other. This year was obviously unacceptable. Cashman would later get asked about that, and Cashman said something along the lines of, everything is getting reviewed. That goes for me as well. Cash said, I think we're all going to be evaluated, including myself. And Cashman's head of baseball operations. So when Hal says we're going to really take a look at the analytics side of what we do, baseball operations in general, I would guess, Cash, that you're going to get kind of reviewed and looked at as head of baseball operations. So that's exciting news.
Should happen every year. Feels kind of like a normal, feels like a standard. This is what worked. This is what did not work.
Well, outside help. I think they have reviewed that the last couple years and been like, we're doing what we want to do. It just didn't get results.
Pretty tasty. That successful 21 season we've talked about. And I think there's a couple things you have to go backwards and review. Is that the origin of the Houston Astros and how they built this house was they reach out to an outside firm, McKinsey. It's all about finding loopholes and best way to navigate the system and how can we do this bigger, better, and best. And now the Orioles, who have built up their team, they did the same thing. So everyone assumes if with Hal coming out and saying that quote, everyone's kind of assuming the Yankees will do the same thing because why wouldn't you? Two teams that have seen success from it. And kind of ideally mold together what you're doing with what you should be doing. And I think...
Go get that guy.
I think the other thing... Go get the guy. I think the other thing that Yankee fans have kind of been on, because it's a little bit of turkey math, Jim, not to bring our own analytics into play here, but Cashman just got a new contract. And they've been firm on like, hey, the guy's got a really successful resume. I'm not my dad. I'm not just going to fire him because of one losing season. So, Cashman's good. We've already covered that. Boone, it's kind of felt like he's been in a weird area that if the train continued so far off the Yankees' track this year that almost he would have to be the sacrifice to the gods. I think it's going to be very interesting to see the rest of the way. He seems safe. I think he's got another year in his contract. We know the Yankees don't want to, for whatever reason, cross that line anymore. So Booney's felt kind of safe, and at the end of the day, they love what Aaron Boone does for the team. He protects the players like him, the front office likes him. Some of the reasons that when fans have problems with Boone, it's nothing that the front office or ownership cares about. So Boone's seemed more or less safe. I think if it got uglier, which maybe it will, I think it's not off the table. Which, okay, so the Yankees are having one of their worst seasons since all of us have been alive. If the GM front office, GM is safe, I should say, or whatever Cashman's role is now. If Boone is safe, then they have to shake up a lot in the front office. And think about all the conversations we have on here. If that's what's actually getting shaken off, that's the most impactful thing. That's what runs teams these days. So as we try to find silver linings in this tough season, if the Yankees do shake up their analytics department, it feels like they've needed that.
Yeah. I don't think you can just say hit ball hard, throw pitch fast anymore.
That doesn't seem too analytical even.
No, doesn't. But that's kind of what their analytics were.
I know.
They need to start developing talent.
Yeah. Or even I was very complimentary to the Mets during their trade deadline because they essentially paid for prospects. They ate salary on the guys they traded away to get the high-level prospects they wanted to get, which if you're a big market baseball team, that should be a massive advantage for you. I don't know if that's going to pay off for the Mets, and I don't know if that's next year, 3 years from now, or never. It's prospects, and things can get Metsy quick, as we've seen this season, even with our Yanks. But yeah, the young talent, I think they said, where Volpe's current season is at is the third highest WAR for a Yankees draftee since, I think since Cashman's technically drafted them, because Cashman didn't get draft duties until 98.
Is that by career WAR, or
I think by in a
this
season.
Gotcha.
I believe that's
I would assume Judges had that number beat in a year.
I think Judge is the one. Not sure who's two.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Hardy?
and even aside from that, number one pick. So a lot of times when people say the development side of things, being able to develop from your farm, they're excluding first round picks. Those guys are extreme talent. A lot of them are going to make the pros anyway, and late trades. Like Brzezinski just did this on the whole White Sox. They haven't developed anybody. And all the Yankees that have made the big leagues and had careers, Volpe first round pick, Judge first round pick, Glaber was Cubs, and then did 2 years in the Yankee system. Also, I think, or a highly touted.
I think when at the time he was signed, he was a highly touted amateur.
Yeah. Where you have the Astros like Jeremy Pena, 3rd round pick, Chas McCormick, 21st round pick. They've had through the years Hunter Brown, 5th round pick.
Correa, Springer.
They had some top ones, and some of those didn't work out either. But they had a bunch that contributed in major leagues.
Have had any.
Yeah,
Kyle Tucker.
Gunnar Henderson was a 2nd round pick. Austin Hayes was a 3rd round pick. Cedric Mullins was a 13th round pick. And the reason I bring up the Astros and the Orioles is because they both did the McKinsley thing and hired Sig Medell. So go steal that guy. He seems like he's the one that we talk about this on Talking Baseball, but not here. So you've heard me say this a lot, but maybe people haven't. He's the one that was with the Cardinals with Lunau and left to go to the Astros. And then the dude, his old coworker, just guessed his password and got into his back or mainframe because Sig Medell built this algorithm to project his head of decision sciences was his thing. And that dude went to jail for 4 years for guessing his ex coworker's password and using his information.
Jail?
Yeah.
Jail?
No. Well, I mean, probably white collar, not,
Right.
Not
on the scale of prisons, I'm sure it was.
Oh, he went to prison. Yeah.
But,
so what was his name? It was Correa, I think, or something like that. Chris Correa. I think he got sentenced to 46 months
in federal prison.
Yeah.
Tough, bro.
Not to take away from the.
Well, that's how good this guy Sig Medell shit is.
Yeah.
That's why the Orioles
People
got
steal
him.
It.
Yeah, good.
People do crime. Not to, take away from the Yankees' first round picks and stuff. It's been not a good result on the scale of Major League Baseball. They have turned some of those guys into trades that did work out. They, on the minor league end of things, developed guys to a point where people wanted them. A lot of guys have stalled out at the major league level. Judge is kind of the only one who's gotten better.
The Yankees have, for a 4-year run, and this just dried up this last 2 years, they had a real good ability to get develop their guys to quadruple A players and then trade them. And I think everyone else has been I don't know if the bread you sell is fully baked. We're not going to come to this place anymore. And I think that's why Cash has been well, no one wants our guys.
Right. And there's a little bit of that with any prospects. I think the one that's always, I know Shackle was big on this and Rucco as well. So maybe it's a Fordham thing. But also the Yankees had good major league talent make it to the major leagues like Gary Sanchez. And then whether you want to blame new catching coaches every year, whether it's there was a team of all right-handed hitters that kind of had the same approach, that maybe that was one of the things that it's not crazy numbers, but Gary Sanchez is having a good season with the Padres right now.
But that was before this overhaul.
Right.
The overhaul, the analytical overhaul happened in 2019. So from 19.
Well, Fishman's been there forever. He's the guy.
Yes, but they fired all the hitting coaches in 2019 and hired a whole new regime, changed it. And then they did that in 2020 on the pitching side of things. So 19, they redid the whole hitting side of the minor league system, and 20, they did the pitching side.
At Blake.
Yeah. And
Good
since
shape.
then, the pitching's been all right. You know, you're getting guys at the major league level. The pitching change have been great. Like finding Clay Holmes, finding Wandy, finding these relievers. And we've had Brito, we've had Vazquez, we've had guys come up and do better. Definitely better than when like Monty was like amazing that happened.
Right.
But you had like Davey, Chance, all the other top pitchers, Sheffield, like stall out. The hitting has not been great since the changes. And they just fired the guy who did it and are changing that approach.
Yeah. I mean, that's going to be the storyline to follow, because let's say the Yankees are fun the rest of the way and the kids look good. There's going to be a lot of people that are, kind of patting themselves on the back again, that the hitting philosophy throughout the organization may be the only change we do get out of this year, which, TBD to see when that's decided. But, I don't know. They're going to point to injuries as well. They've already pointed to performance, before DJ, has put together a little bit of a second half. Judgy was out. Stanton has not been good. That, I don't know, for those guys that are still going to be around the team next year, knock on wood, we think there's a little Sean Casey effect with DJ. Why not believe in it? But, you wonder for Stanton, like that's a guy that's going to be making $25 million in the middle of the lineup when he's healthy. That more so becomes a Giancarlo Stanton problem, not an organizational philosophy problem.
True. You're not gonna.
He's at an age now where it's hard to blame like the team for anything that happens this point forward.
He's gonna do his thing.
I wonder. It's more so how they attack the daily stuff, which isn't part of analytics.
Right.
Steadiness,
Drills,
playing for the win,
sports,
better decision making on the field. Not sloppy.
Not sloppy would be
guys.
cool. Not sloppy would be cool.
And I think that comes from prioritizing that stuff in the minors. Because we haven't had someone come up from the minors as an infielder with like a high baseball IQ. Like a Rizzo-esque. Like,
Breivik, Valera.
Hey, he wasn't even ours.
Wasn't a Yankee prospect. Give him a break
They liked
there.
what they saw.
Volpe's pretty good.
Volpe's pretty good.
He
was supposed to be like a defense first guy when they drafted him. Like they were hoping he'd have some ability to hit.
I'm trying to think. Glaber, no. Andujar, no.
Oswaldo, kind of. Like he's
Cabrera?
a defensive fundamental person. We don't know if he can hit.
Yeah.
Like he plays the game the right way, or any like lame things you'd want to say.
Yeah. He's very athletic. Wells, maybe.
We don't know.
3 games in.
So far, so good.
Why not? God.
Josh Smith, they drafted him 3rd overall. Or their 3rd pick in the 2nd round. And he's playing.
Yeah, I guess the other thing that gets... All right, I don't know. I haven't seen it addressed, and I'd want to hear more. Is remember, like, for years, the Yankee excuse was always like, well, we're the Yankees. We draft at the end of the 1st round, like, blah, blah, blah. But remember the whole time period where they were trading for international signing money? And, like, I don't know, we just saw Dominguez come up, and hopefully that's sick. And, like, this is a deeper cut, but Roderick Arias was, like, one of the number 1 shortstop kids, and the Yankees invested in him, which that's supposed to be another area of Yankees development that they have a leg up.
But most years they get one of the top 5 guys in that pool. Yeah, different places rank 16-year-olds differently, but
right.
They usually get one of the bigger guys. Pereira was one the year they signed him. He was like one of the 5.
Yeah, where would I find that?
Yankee.
Those are a little messier. Gary, when they picked him, was he was one of the top ones.
Yeah, he was big. It was him and Sano. It's a bidding war between Gary and Sano. International free agent signings, Yankees, 2021. Okay. Brandon Maya?
Maya, yeah.
Maya?
He was this year's signing, last year's signing. He was a recent one, another guy.
Okay.
Top.
Hopefully.
He was like one of the
And again, these are like,
outfielders.
like Dominguez. Like, that's a top prospect.
Right.
Yeah. He's
might not
essentially consider that like a top 10 draft pick.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I'm very excited. I hope that they actually do follow through with this and learn. And you're right. They should probably like reassess every year. Seems smart. But Hal's on it, man. Hal said, no trades. We're going to take a look into what you've been doing.
I like Austin Wells.
The part of all this that
reminds me of Munson, his favorite.
as a
Bust the
as a
door
fan, what the tough part about this being the major change we see this offseason is like, they probably won't like tell us who they hire and fire.
Well, Hound Boone.
Like, we won't know.
They don't even tell us they extended Cashman without him having an extension before this year.
They had him work for like 2 months.
I think
Everyone
Cashman
is
is
just like, it's cool.
I think Cashman is Hal's godfather. Or Cashman's dad is Hal's godfather.
I don't know if I've fully brought it to Talkin' Yanks yet, but I think they're friends. We have, right?
They are friends.
Yeah. Right.
Cashman's dad was friends with George. That's how he got the job.
I'm saying
so they grew up
Cash
together.
and Hal. Yeah.
Yeah, they grew up.
buddies.
They grew up. Yeah, they like grew up together as buddies.
Dining hall buddies.
Their buddies there when Cashman first started with the Yanks. He was the young guy at the office that Hal, I'm sure, was able to talk to.
Because Cash is from Kentucky, and his dad worked at the racetrack where George kept his horses, and that's how they met. And then that's how Cash got an internship back when he was like 19, straight out of Catholic. What's that Catholic college called? Just Catholic
University.
Catholic.
Yeah, Catholic U, where he was getting his Brett Gardner on, and then he worked his way up.
They're kind of Talkin' Yanks 1.0.
I do think Cashman's dad is Hal's godfather or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's Boone.
Speaking of, here he is.
Brought to you by Vizio. Bantering with Boone in the afternoon. Not in a typhoon. But if it was, you'd want to be inside watching your Vizio TV because Vizio, the V means value. 4K screens under 500. They got their sound bars too. I have pretty bad hearing, so I need a sound bar. Vizio is the place to go get it. They're also big about baseball. That's why they're with us. And their Vizio Watch Free Plus offers MLB Network totally free right out of the box. Head on over to Vizio.com. Check out how you can elevate your viewing experience all season long. Whatever your budget or size of your home, Vizio has you covered for the perfect TV soundbar combo. Click the link. Go get yourself a TV soundbar or both. Bong.
All right, here we go. Boonie's back in the Bronx. We're back in studio, and we had ourselves a fun weekend in Houston. Maybe the most fun 3 days in Houston you've had in a long time.
Yeah, it was definitely a good weekend. I think we had that series in, was it 2021, where we really started to play well. We won. I think we were on the verge of a sweep, and we had a 4-run lead in the ninth, and yeah, we lost that game.
That was right before the break.
Right
that was
before the break, man.
Yeah.
We were really starting to play well, and went there and played well, and we're about to sweep them, and they won.
Vibes were good.
That team hated momentum. That was the problem.
No,
Yeah.
that was when they started doing the mocking with the jacket stuff. And whenever your guys, Booney, get into the mud with those shenanigans, it backfires. Like every time. But we were at a bar in Denver because it was right before the All-Star game.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but yeah, it was good. You know, played well in Detroit, and then went into Houston, and just to kind of in all facets, you know, I thought we played really good defense, pitched well, had some really big outings out of the pen, you know, behind our good starts, and then obviously two more young guys getting a debut and having an impact.
Yeah, and I think everyone saw what happened and the change. I'm interested in just the flight home with the new vibes and Jasson and Wells being on the flight and like how much different did it feel? Did it feel like okay, the goal might be different, but this is a way better energy about us?
Yeah, look, I think everyone's even the veteran guys, the star players are all, I think, excited to have them here and see what they can do and doing their part to try and get them acclimated and comfortable. So I think there's that added excitement. And then you go out and, finish off a really good road trip in Detroit and Houston. It's like, man, that's what it can be. And that's what it looks like. And hopefully we can continue to play, some of our best baseball the rest of the way here.
Can you actually, I believe in energy. Can you actually feel the young energy? Because obviously it's social media and you have to understand from the fan side, people are running away with it and there's pictures of all the kids together, but you just added, 5 25-year-olds, 24-year-olds to a clubhouse. You have to actually feel that.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Now I think it comes along with, playing well and winning and all that. So then it's that good energy and guys are excited and you definitely feel it from everyone in the room. I think, it's been fun to see Jhony, Brito and Randy Vazquez get in the act and come in kind of two unexpected roles in the middle of games to help us win games and their excitement and the guys, kind of feeding off of that too. I always feel like teams at their best is a really good blend of veteran and youth and, how you find that magic fairy dust. But when it clicks like that, it can be a lot of fun. And certainly we still got a ways to go and we've had a really good week and that makes for a lot of fun. But I would say this week you definitely felt it.
With Dominguez, obviously we all saw the first home run, the second home run, the plays in between. Is there a moment that you kind of, saw or viewed of him off the field or even maybe just on the field, but, not a play that the average viewer is going to notice where you kind of said, I like that as well?
Well, I go back to the first time I met him as a 16-year-old and in the DR when Mendy and I went back there in the winter to kind of see some of our guys and visit the complex down there. And he had recently been signed and he jumped right in a group with Miguel Andujar and Gary Sanchez. And right away you're like, man, this kid's 16 and, it's pretty special at ease round to BP. So that stood out. And then this spring getting to be around him. He had a great spring for us, as you guys know, looked great, was having really quality at bats all the time. There was one play, I don't know if it was a double or a triple or I forget what it was. I just remember for the first time, seeing him really step on it from an acceleration standpoint and you got to peek at the speed. And I was like, whoa, that's another gear he's got there too. So that is really something that jumped out to me. And then just showing up this weekend and fitting in really well, that easy smile he's got. I'm sure obviously there's nerves and excitement and all that, but you wouldn't know it by watching him move around.
That's kind of, I wanted to ask about that. And I wasn't sure how to get there, but he's all of it, man. He was the big prospect. He got the signing bonus. He, wanted to be at the show, thought he was going to be at the show, and he's at the show at this age. Is he doing a rookie trying to fit in? Is he walking tall? Does he feel like he belongs to be there?
Yeah, look, everyone's different. I think there's he seems to be very comfortable in his own skin. I would say, appears to be, he's not a real loud guy. He's quiet, but very, very friendly. And usually a smile on his face. Like, he's got a peace and a comfortability in his own skin that I think shows itself when you're around him.
Sure.
He slides into the 3-hole with Glaber out. Glaber got scratched. And Volpe went up there when Glaber was out, and then you throw Dominguez there. And then the last game, Glaber's healthy. He's in the lineup, and you keep Dominguez in the 3-hole. Any thought there, or just totally you're comfortable with him and the switch hitting helps the lineup out a ton? And will he remain kind of up there in 3, 4, 5 area?
Yeah, I got him in third today. That was more a product of obviously GT being out. The first game we were facing Verlander, who's, a neutral to a reverse split guy. So I had more righties in there. And then the next day I had Oswaldo back in there. So I had 3 lefties that just wanting a little bit of spacing against Hunter Brown. That's really all it is.
When you hand in that first lineup card with all the kids, are you like, here we go? Like this, like that's in baseball, that can be a crazy proposition, right? Playing that many kids. I know
six rookies.
The weekend was awesome for Yankee fans, but man, when you actually write that up and give it to the ump, you got to be like, here we are, huh?
Yeah, I was excited about it.
Okay.
Excited to see what they're capable of doing, and looking forward to the next several weeks here, seeing these guys hopefully continue to grow.
One more question on Dominguez before I move on, because I want to talk about Wells as well. But that home run, when he hit that home run the right field as a lefty, does your brain instantly go, ooh, get me this kid in the stadium? Because that was all I could think about was I want to see him in the stadium.
Yeah. Look, I'm really excited about him as a player. I've kind of said over and over, I think he's got a chance to be really good. But we're a couple days into this and want to let him kind of find his way and understand it's a hard game that growing pains are going to be there. He's still developing, but I think he gave everyone a little peek into why a lot of us are excited about him.
Well, let's talk a little bit of Wells, because you want to get Yankee fans excited. Put a catcher with a mustache who swings lefty behind the plate. Like that's a perfect storm. And we even talked to you and we were like, we talked about the quote, Wells played first base a little bit. So Yankee fans are running laps around their head. Like, are they going to put him at first? You think he could end up in a corner outfield? He catches all 3 games. Is like what's the plan going forward with him? Because right now we're 3 catchers on the roster. What's the Wells game plan?
Yeah, he's gonna catch. Got Gerrit going today, so I'm gonna have him kind of go through. I'm not gonna start him today. I'm just gonna have him go through all the game planning and stuff with Gerrit, because I do want him to catch Gerrit here down the stretch some. So I do want to incorporate that, but I want him to go through first day at Yankee Stadium, kind of going through all the game planning and in the meeting with Gerrit, all that he goes through. But I know we were really excited about what we saw this weekend from him, behind the plate and just from a presence standpoint. He came in and was prepared. You can tell really enjoys that part of the game, which I think is critical for a catcher. Like you've got to enjoy the hard, tedious, work that you put in and watching video and, trying to marry game plans and connecting with that starting pitcher that day. And then obviously the relief pitchers, he showed a lot this weekend to us who got to see it up close and personal for the first time. So excited to see him continue to grow in that role and to see how he grows and his connection with the pitching staff as we move forward the rest of the month. But I thought he had a great first weekend.
Yeah, throughout the first base runner that tried to steal on him too. So that's just
great.
A little bit extra.
Yeah, we're watching all his throws in between innings too, and we're kind of looking at each other like, oh, there's arm strength there. All his throws were good. Really good throw for the first stolen base attempt. So that was really good to see. And got his first hit out of the way, had an RBI double in his last game. So a good debut for Austin also.
Yeah, seemed to have a good approach at the plate. When you talk about Cole and trying to get Wells and Cole together throughout the season, how much of that is on Cole's plate? He's chasing a pretty prestigious award that he hasn't won yet. I mean, if he comes to you and says, no, I'm working well with blank, no matter who it is, Rortvedt, Higgy, whatever, Rortvedt lately, and says, I'd like to ride the season out with him. How much does he have the ability to say, okay, go get it?
Yeah, he has some of that ability, but he's on board. I think he, as much as anyone, was really excited with what he saw from Austin, because you know how hooked up every game Gerrit is, and how much he's paying attention to pitch calling and what we should do here. I mean, he's in on every pitch, and I think he came away really impressed with Austin, and so I think he's excited to work with him. But also, Benny's done a great job with him too, and want to keep that in play. Higgy will get, probably, I think we have a lefty the third day here. I'll probably start in that game. So, they'll all still get some run, but we definitely want to see Austin back there a bunch.
My advanced analytics on this matter would be let Wells catch Cole once and then say, okay, great, you got it out of your system, and then let him be an offensive catcher, because Cole and offensive catcher don't really go together. He kind of just, who's the guy that's not worried about hitting? I'm going to take all his energy for just my pitching.
Yeah, but when he sees him preparing like he is, and
okay,
I think he's excited about that. But a lot goes into preparing to get ready for Gerrit every fifth day. So there's a
How electric has Gerrit been this weekend? Is he scouting all these kids? Like, is he looking at Wells where he's setting up for every pitch? Gerrit Cole had to be in the building all weekend.
Yeah, I mean, Gerrit's one of those guys that's, you asked about the energy and all that and the excitement. Like, I think Gerrit's one of those guys that's been excited about seeing these guys come up and seeing them, play well and have an impact and do some good things. So it's him and Aaron and our guys are excited to see these guys here and what they can bring and what they can do. But yeah, no question. I think Gerrit came away really impressed with Austin behind the plate and the weekend he had, just from a pitch calling standpoint.
We saw Judge run as fast as we've seen him run all season. Was that eye-opening for you, or was everyone kind of aware, like, oh, he's healthy enough to do that? Let's just
the first to third.
Yeah, first, and then tag up as well, but first to third, yeah.
Yeah, it got my attention again, and as we've kind of talked, like, it's gone, I think, as well as we could have hoped. Like, that was the hope. Like, first series in Baltimore, where you could definitely see him laboring a little bit as he's getting around the bases, and it was kind of station to station. We've seen a steady improvement since then, and I thought that first to third the other day, at first I'm like, no, and to see him get there with ease and really a strong aggressive slide into third base. He's even been pushing to run a little bit more from a stolen base standpoint. So I think all things considered with Aaron, I think it's gone pretty well since him coming back. And when he came back and not 100%, it's gone about as good as we could have hoped.
After that, Dominguez scores from second on the Pereira single, and he was flying around the bases, no hesitancy at all. It just felt like everything got ticked up a little bit with the excitement, kind of the human element. You even had Volpe do the Jeter play in the hole, and Peraza has 4 hits in the last 2 games. It just feels like when they say, like, let's call the kids up because it'll give us some energy, and then a lot of the analytics can't quantify that. It seems like we saw firsthand how that can really tick everyone up across the board.
Yeah, I agree. No question. But again, going hand in hand with them performing, is big. They've played well and they've played like they belong. So that's what's been good to see so far.
What's the Do you guys I don't want to say mantras or anything like that, but when teams get in this position, some teams lean into the spoiler role. Like, I think you guys are a game below 500 right now. Like, along with playing the kids, I guess mini goal setting the rest of the way. Like, are we trying to lean into a spoiler Yankees team? Like, what? Obviously, we want to win every day. Still, that's the goal. That's baseball. You guys can't look too far ahead, but are we leaning into any of that stuff?
We're leaning into kicking ass. Like,
okay.
That's what we want to do. And that's to these guys' credit. Even when we've completely taken our lumps, that we haven't lost sight of that. And guys have been working really hard to get there. And hey, keep going. We're going to get, so that's our focus. Like, it's fun to go play well. It's fun to go play well and win. And that's what we want to do. We're going to try and do that until they, tell us to stop. So, we're coming off a long road trip where we played well and starting a homestand, and hopefully we can keep that going. But we want to go win. We want to go beat you. And that's what we're trying to do.
On the pitching side of things, Randy Vazquez and Jhony Brito both performed well out of the pen. And Randy only went 2 innings, but I think it could have gone more in the kind of a long relief Bolt guy-esque role. Either of those guys going to get a chance to start down the stretch, or do you like him in that role, or is it all fluid?
It is fluid. Obviously all of our starters are, knock on wood, good and healthy right now. So we'll see if something comes up in, the final weeks of the season. They're not fully built up like they were as starters now, but they played 2 critical roles in us winning 2 games against the Astros on the weekend. Like, Jhony Brito coming in and pitching into the 8th inning the way he did. When Hamilton went down, Hamilton was coming into that game, and his last throw fell that little tweak in his groin, so we had to flip to Jhony, and Jhony comes in and, 3 1/3 into the 8th inning? Like, yeah, okay. That was huge in us being able to win that game. And then Randy the day before, giving us, bridging to the back end of the bullpen was huge. And these guys, through some of their ups and downs of the year, the one thing they've shown is no fear and a really good competitive spirit. And they were instrumental in us winning a couple games this past weekend.
For Brito, obviously it's still so young and so new, but he currently has some pretty big splits between his starting and his relieving stats. I mean, do you think that's a little bit sample size? Do you think that's a little bit, it was the topic when he got called up that he probably needs to develop more of a third pitch because the fastball changeup combo is there and it's pretty nice. Do you think, is that the correlation there?
Yeah, that's certainly part of it. He also had, I think, 2 starts if I remember correctly, where the first inning was just brutal. So it's kind of, that affects your overall stats, which there's been a number of starts where he's been pretty solid for us. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see as he continues to develop. But I think on balance, it's been a fairly successful year for Jhony.
When you said all our starters are healthy right now and you're checking through the 5 guys, like King is officially, he's popping in your head as a starter these days?
He is. Yeah, another good one. I thought his stuff was really good. So, he could be in that kind of 80 pitch range his next start, which will be he'll go on the weekend against the Brewers. So, yeah, continuing to build him up that way, and excited what we're seeing so far.
I didn't tune into his full post-game presser. I heard him praising Wells, but did anyone ask him, or do you know about switching from the stretch to the windup halfway through? Was that him, telling the world I am a starter for real?
Probably a little bit. It's a little symbol, but I think it's just knowing, going to be in there longer, just, a chance to create a little more rhythm. So pretty controlled windup that he has.
Is that something that starting pitchers do or have done? Like first time through, hit him with the stretch, and then second time through windup, and then third time through. Would that do anything as a batter to make you think?
I don't know.
Rhythm?
Not necessarily. I look, it's ultimately about repeating, and so that's why you see the occasional starter, even good starter, that pitches from the stretch just because it simplifies things for them. So, I don't think it messes with the hitter that much.
Does Clarke have any pitch limit restrictions this year? I think he's only thrown 100 innings once, and I think that's going back to his South Carolina days. So he's sitting at $130 right now. You guys are obviously monitoring it, but
no. As of right now, we're going. I'm sure it'll always be in play to pull back on a start or whatever we may do down the stretch, but not a lot of real big talks about that to this point. Mindful of it, and hey, we know we may need to alter that but no plans right now to do anything different with them.
Okay, cool. All right, I think that's all. You got anything for us?
No, I got to get off to the yard.
All right.
If you ever need, maybe when you and Mendy go back to the DR, maybe me and Joe's come down with you. A couple Presidentes start flying around. I don't know.
There you go. Maybe knock some sense into you knuckleheads.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Boone. Appreciate you.
All right, guys.
Well, there you go, Jake. Good vibes. Fall training rolls on. We're here to kick some ass. What was the quote? We're in the business of kicking ass. We're trying to kick ass. Kick ass. Kick ass.
We're leaning into kicking ass.
Oh, we're leaning into it. We're dabbling.
Why not?
We're thinking about it.
Why not?
We've decided it's a cool strategy.
Hey, it's right here, buddy.
Yeah.
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 Breaking from Boone. Winning's fun.
It's not. It's not fun.
Dominguez in the 3-hole again.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if Hicks could do it.
Wells out.
Yeah, that's kind of fun though. Like,
yeah,
you're gonna shadow Rortvedt today, see the hell that we put him through for the past month, and you're gonna get a chance to do this at some point.
It's so funny how it's not a secret how much Cole just abuses his catcher's time and energy, and even Boone's joking, saying maybe don't do it, but he's laughing, knowing what I was alluding to, maybe not,
Yeah, one of those moments that if you watch, you got a different sense of his answer than just listening on the apps.
Yeah, Trevi can be Cole's guy next year. Is Trevi free agent?
He and Higgy both under contract.
It's an interesting Trevi Higgy combo for the offseason.
Rortvedt can still go up and down as the third guy, so that's solved.
Because Higgy can hit lefties.
Trevi did,
and at a time
Trevi hits lefties better.
And there was a time where Higgy was the personal catcher. Then it became Trevino. Then it became Rortvedt. It can't become Wells. It's out. Tough. Catch him once. He gets to see what it's like, and then
you're gonna catch him once. That's both of them will get to go for a ride. Gerrit gets to yell at a new kid. Wells gets to catch Gerrit Cole. It's exciting.
Fully support making him try it.
It's almost as exciting as our Talkin Giants tailgate, Jim. The Talkin Giants, boys, that L16 tailgate party spot of MetLife Stadium come through each week when the Giants are home. They're going to be there. First tailgate of the season is Sunday, September 10th, starting at 4:30. We're going to have some of our crew there. They're going to be giveaways and all sorts of fun stuff. The Talkin Giants guys kill it, and they have a lot of fun. And this is kind of the time to go there when it's good weather. Well, you start hitting some autumn, and that's nice too. Yeah. But then, I think there's a January tailgate that
that's when you make a bond with someone.
You got to be dialed up for that. So go check it out, shop.johnboymedia.com. They got tickets to their tailgate. And we got a lot of other events coming soon, so get ready for that.
Yeah. A lot of playoff stuff.
Get jazzy.
Blitz ball stuff. So go Yankees, go beat the Tigers.
Might as well. Kick some ass.
Win today, you're 500
Another
again.
sweep.
Kick their ass.
What are they, 6 of their last 7? So they just sweep the Tigers. They become 9 wins in their last 10.
Brewers.
And then the Brewers, Josh Donaldson's return. That might be weird. See you then. Go Yanks. Tell them, Grams.
Go Yankees.